Hey everyone, it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here, and today we're doing a Presley's Perspective. So this is an actual Presley's Perspective where I don't know what we're talking about. We haven't done one of those in a long time though, because I've always known the issues. Except this time I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I've been thinking a lot lately about, we had a couple of things come up that were interesting, that kind of tied in together, and they were political, right? So it was the Donald Trump stuff. So we've talked about Donald Trump and like what's going on with him and sort of the anti-immigrant kind of mentality and stuff that's going behind him. And then Brexit happened,
Yes.
right, which was also sort of an anti-immigrant kind of thing. Donald Trump's got the Make America Great Again. Britain has like the UK first or Britain first kind of thing, right? Which is kind of let's take care of our own and not worry about everybody else. Let's not accept all of these refugees in because it may hurt the UK lifestyle or quality of life, right?
I actually saw these really good Canadian ads, I think, which
Okay.
I think they were from Canada, which is like people saying to people of color, go back to where you came from, and then the person of color would respond, where, and then a city in, like Toronto or something like that. And I thought those were really kind of a good point because they didn't come from Africa or China. They came from like Toronto.
Sure. That's a good point, right? So we talk about that and we're sort of on the same page about like there's this huge Syrian immigrant crisis or there's this war going on in Syria and there are people fleeing and we should help those people out and we should do those things. And so this idea of, make America great again by keeping people out because we don't want these people to sort of take our resources and our jobs and whatever, our health care and long waits at the doctor's office. The same thing with universal health care. We don't want universal health care because we'll have long wait to the doctor's office and we want our stuff first and better and we'll take care of ourselves to the exclusion of everyone else and then like maybe later we'll find a way to help other people, right? And we've sort of been disagreeing with that.
I've never really heard because the waits would be long at the doctor's office, and that's kind of nonsensical to me because if there's something seriously wrong with you, you could probably get something fast.
No, that was totally one of the arguments was that like if everyone had health care, people would be going to the doctor more, and they would have to wait longer to get health care. There's longer waits, and you have like it's a whole socialized medicine. It's not even this is not about that. So let's get this is all like staging, right? So all of this has been going on, and that has made me think like in the back of my head. Like while like I'm against those positions and I think we should help other people out and this whole me first thing is not the best attitude to have in the world, it's sort of why we homeschool.
It is, actually.
Like in a very real way, it is like we don't think that the public school system would be the best thing for you, that the public schools and the school system is not the greatest thing and the greatest way to learn. And so while we have this remarkable privilege and luxury of being able to homeschool you and have like mommy can stay home and take care of you guys and homeschool you guys and I can help teach you stuff during the end of the day. Like we're sort of doing that and pulling you out and disengaging with the public school system and like everybody else to take care of our own better because we feel like we can do a better job and we can teach you and Cooper better and so we're not going out and trying and fighting. Well, I mean, I work in education, so I am kind of trying to make the education system better. But we're not, getting in there and helping and having you be in the public school system and be an intelligent kid in the school system would help other people probably. And we're sort of saying take care of our own first, right? In a very real way. And I'm curious what you think about that.
A really big deal with self-care because is like put yourself first and don't think about what other people are saying. Although I can understand that, like, don't put people's wants in front of your needs. I can understand.
Isn't that what Brexit is? Is people saying, I'm going to take care of myself first and then worry about other people later?
Yes, except I think it's definitely to a larger extreme than it is. Because what people are trying to say is if someone says fat people can't wear crop tops, and you want to wear a crop top, do that first. That's kind of what they're meaning, and that's not very extreme.
So I don't understand the crop top analogy. What do you mean by that?
Well, basically putting your kind of what they're not doing it to as much as an extreme as don't let people that need to be in this country in our country. And
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, but it's still like it's small choices, right? It is I'm going to put my needs ahead of the greater needs of the society. And if everybody sort of individually does that in small decisions, you end up with Brexit and you end up with Donald Trump, right? I don't know. Like I don't know the answer to this, right? It just seems I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I hate the xenophobic aspects of Brexit, understanding that there are other reasons that people supported the Brexit. That I don't agree with most of them, but I understand that there's other reasons going on there, and that there are other reasons people might support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But just focusing on those aspects of isolationism, right? I want to be an isolationist and want to pull back and close our borders and just take care of America, and we want to make everything here. We don't want to buy stuff from other countries because we want people here to have jobs making things, and so we want to take care of our own first, and then we'll worry about other stuff. Like, I agree, it's a bigger picture of it, but it seems like it's sort of the same mentality.
What happened, kind of closing the country is also, not the greatest idea, because we're kind of worried about getting too many people in our country by letting immigrants in.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened at least this is what I think, what I think happened in Japan is they closed the country and then the population rose. So if we close our country, we're just going to be having more we're just going to have more and more like Native American, not Native American, but people that are native to America.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, again, whether it works or not is a whole different thing, right? I'm just curious about sort of, it's the same sort of mentality that I dislike on one, like, political scale, but at the same time, I'm doing it on a different scale.
Yeah.
Where, while I understand that, like, having you in the public school would probably be beneficial to the people around you and to your friends and to kids, and it would probably be somewhat detrimental to you because you wouldn't be learning the same, and people sort of meet in the middle, right? And so, I think it would sort of bring up the standards of some of the people that you interacted with, and it would maybe bring you down a little bit, and maybe it would help you in some other ways because you would interact with some people and it would help you out in some ways. It just seems like it's weird that we sort of follow that isolationist approach in a microcosm, like, of our family.
Yeah.
We're saying, no, we're going to take care of education, and we're going to focus on doing it ourselves because we don't like the way that these other things are happening, rather than engaging more directly with it, right? And I feel less bad about it because I do work in education, and I am trying. Like, I say all the time at work that what I'm trying to do is make possible the ability to scale what we do with you. Use technology to make classrooms able to offer this customized education that you're able to get. And so in my day job, that's what I'm trying to do every day, right? But I'm not doing it with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not taking that same kind of leap that we're sort of asking people to take and do those kinds of things. And it just seems like it's been something that's been kind of gnawing at me in the back of my head for about a week now.
I've never
really
thought about this, so this is kind of the first thing that's happened that I've really been able to think about it. Like, all I can really say about it is we're doing it on a slightly smaller scale.
Yeah, but a bunch of people doing a thing on a small scale makes it large scale,
yes.
right? Like, that mentality just sort of permeates society when you behave that way. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's a really interesting thought. Like, I was actually thinking about sending this out as a Dear Hank and John, because I'd be curious to see what John Green thinks about sort of that, how related those things are and how unrelated they are, and how, like, personal decisions about you and your family and relate to political decisions about a country. And of course, I would love to hear what you guys think about it too. Right? If you guys have any thoughts about the subject of isolationism as a national policy versus families making decisions that are the best for them, even though it could be detrimental to society as a whole or community as a whole.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question. And again, like, this is not one where I don't even have a really strong opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to say, no, it's completely different. Like, we're totally doing the right thing, and we're doing it for the right reasons, and it's not at all like Brexit or Trump xenophobia, right? But I can't yet make, like, a really rationed argument in my head for why it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I hate that, right? It bothers me, right? But I can't, like, I try and be, like, live an examined life and sort of think about my choices and how they impact other people and how they relate, and be intellectually honest about those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so I can't just go like, oh yeah, it's totally different, and just dismiss it, because I have to convince myself, like, I have to have a reasoned argument as to why it's different and why I think it's okay that we homeschool and sort of disengage and isolate in that policy, whereas the national policy, I'm very against it being a super isolationist policy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I haven't made it yet. Like, maybe somebody out there, I know there are several people that comment all the time that have really great thoughts on these kinds of things. Like, I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to think about it. And I'm curious what you think about it.
Yeah, obviously this has just come to my head, so I'm still thinking. But yeah, I think that is, I can't quite convince myself either that there's a reason why they're different.
But you sort of instinctively feel like they're different.
Yeah, I instinctively feel like they're different because
Because you want to do one and not the other.
I want to do one and not the other.
Right. That's like I'm afraid that's why I feel like they're different, right?
That's why I feel like they're different, and it's just.
So maybe we'll do a follow-up. We'll let you sort of noodle it for a week or so, and we'll do a follow-up and see if we can. And you guys give us some suggestions and food for thought, and we'll think about it, and we'll do more.
First of all, I want to put this out there. Please, if you disagree with us, comment, please. We want to know what other people think, and if it differs from our opinion.
Yeah,
then
this time I think it's really hard to disagree with us because we don't actually have an opinion.
But if you disagree,
sometimes we state something and you can disagree.
Yes.
Now we're not really stating an opinion.
Yeah.
But in general, yes.
Yes,
let us know.
in general, that's important.
We love, and we had this, we ran this, or not ran, we were on this engaged fandom panel at VidCon.
We ran a table.
Yeah, I ran a different thing, but we did a table. But it was all about like how to have healthy sort of debate and conversations, and like we talked about how we love when people sort of disagree with us if they do it in a thoughtful way, and it's not just sort of like hateful that kind of stuff. So thoughtful discussion about this one is going to be helpful. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so let us know what you think. We'll think about it more, and maybe we'll post a follow-up in a week or two and let you know how our thoughts have changed and if we've settled on why we think it's different, or if Presley's in public school suddenly in the next week. We'll see. You'll know where we came down on the decision. Right?
Right.
Awesome.
Hopefully we'll end up in public school next few weeks.
Yeah, let's hope that's not happening. Okay.
So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!
Bye, guys.